Hi guys, this is Emma at the Vlog Lady, and I've just watched Legion, Chapter 5, Episode 5. We started out with this very heartbreaking shot of Carrie, waiting for Carrie to be brought back injured. The more you see of Carrie and Carrie together, the more it seems like a relationship like twins, or because he's a little bit older, it also seems like father and daughter. The love between them and that bond is so strong. It's an endearing thing for both of these characters to love each other so much and to rely on one another for life. They are so different. They look so different and they behave so different, but they seem like two parts of the same thing. It's kind of surprising that neither of them have ever experienced anything like this before, and that neither of them know what will happen to the other person if they die. I mean, what would happen to Carrie if Carrie died? Anyway, I think it's interesting to see how these mutants are actually able to survive and what kind of things that they have to do in order to exist on Earth, and how difficult it is for them. We all have our ways of surviving, and it just seems like they have an extra hard time. So David is quite confident in this episode. In fact, he's overconfident at some points. I saw a movie recently with Dan Stevens in it, and he played this aggressive evil killer type guy, and I got vibes of that last night from David. He was acting as though he was like a magician at points, and I just think that he is so hyper aware of his abilities now that why wouldn't he be that confident, because he knows that he's probably the most powerful mutant out there. He is a little calmer now. He is more in control of what is going on. At least he thought he was at the beginning of the episode. We gradually saw that change a little as he came to realize more about the nature of the parasite and how that has affected him and controlled him throughout his life. I thought that moment when Lenny was straddling him and sticking a tongue down his throat was quite sad, because it was like claiming ownership of David. I just thought, you know, that was so sad for him to have spent all those years with that kind of burden. And also when he was in the astral plane with Sid and he had to play his instrument and kind of lull the rest of the entities. We saw when he first was in that room with Sid that there was the presence of this dark parasite in the bowl of strawberries. Like always, the dark shadow is always lingering behind him, beside him, inside him. So we found out more about Oliver Bird. He's been in the astral plane for 21 years. It's a long time. And he also put himself there because it sounds like he spent too much time enjoying the astral plane, enjoying his powers, enjoying what he could do and where he could take himself, and he just went too far and lost himself. I thought in the last episode that perhaps someone had put him in that state, but to find out that he'd done it to himself makes you wonder whether he will ever really return to Melanie. I think that we have found out what Melanie's weakness is, because she is so distracted by the news about Oliver that when she goes to see Carrie and Kerry, she can't help but instantly tell Carrie what has happened and how David has found Oliver, instead of focusing on what's going on with them. The stuff with David saving Amy was pretty gruesome, what he could do there, and I think it was obvious that even the team was scared when they arrived at the building and found everything like that, with all the men stuck in the walls and the floor in that volatile state of him wanting to find Amy. I think they knew that he probably could just do anything. So it was no big surprise, I don't think, to find out that David was adopted. I mean, it's clearly difficult for David to find out his whole life has been a lie, but he seems more able to accept that now and accept this new world that he's in, instead of just being put down and told that he's ill. So we saw from that scene with David saving Amy that he could actually manipulate several different elements, do so many things. He had obviously used multiple different powers to control that situation. I thought it was both sad and frustrating that Carrie had come up with this device that was like a halo that he thought would isolate the parasite from David. I just think it's a little sad that Carrie was able to come up with that device so quickly after David being so tortured for all those years and having no help and having his life taken away from him, basically. I think some of David's newfound confidence as well came from the fact that he was able to be with Sid, even if that wasn't truly physical. He had that feeling of euphoria that you get from being with someone, so I think that boosted his confidence as well. I loved the shots of the bad guy in this because they made it seem like he was such a creeper, and the camera work was like cutting through the trees and the debris to find him, to point him out. Made him seem like some kind of animal that was hiding. He was the lone survivor of that attack on the building where Amy was being kept. He clearly didn't seem emotionally affected by anything that had happened there, and that he didn't have any kind of rapport with all the men who had died there. This guy is a plain evil psychopath, I think. I do feel like there is going to be a huge confrontation with David at some point. Anyway, that's it, another enjoyable episode. So you can leave a comment below to tell me what you thought of the episode, and that's it.